Hello, everyone. It's just me today. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to capture an audience, and I will be exploring how to, say, capture lightning in a bottle, so to speak, and how to turn yourself into a superstar sensation. And today, I'm going to use a few examples to show you how these certain individuals have captured sort of an audience of millions of people. Now, just a disclaimer, I neither disagree nor agree with these individuals' ideals or beliefs or political opinions. I am simply using these people as examples. There's no worship or demonize these people in any way. I'm just going to use the way they sort of interact and capture an audience to sort of prove a point of what I'm trying to say. So to capture an audience is basically capturing lightning in a bottle. It's got to be quick. It's got to be shocking. You got to grab the audience attention, and not just grab it. You got to have the audience stay its attention on you. You can't just make a big show and just that's about it. You have to keep it up every day. You have to put yourself out there for the general public to look at you and say, "Wow, that guy's saying some really cool stuff. That guy's got my attention." Whether they hate you or dislike you is not the point. What the point is, they have their eyes on you. You are their soup. You are sort of their what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of their hero or their villain. They will look to you, whether they like you or dislike you, whether they hate you, whether they love you. They will look towards you. Now, my first example for this is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He's the most electrifying superstar in WWE and probably one of the most famous WWE superstars of all time. When he was a professional wrestler, I guess he still is, he gained audience of millions and millions of fans throughout the entire country through not just his ring work, but through his mic work. The way he would trash talk, the way he would get under his opponent's skin was nothing short of entertaining, and fans loved that. Fans loved his charisma. They loved his talent. He was a professional wrestler who knew he couldn't just rely on being a good wrestler. He had to be very entertaining on the mic as well. Remember, professional wrestling is an entertainment-based industry. So you can't just be good at wrestling. You have to provide something interesting, unique to the table. And I think that's what The Rock did. And that's why he's gained so much audience and fame towards that. He's nowadays he's one of the most successful and most well-known movie stars of all times because that's how influential he is. It's crazy, and he started from like most professional wrestlers started from. Not saying he's the first wrestler to ever be in movies, but he's the biggest superstar of that. He came from pro wrestling. Now he's one of the biggest movie stars of all time, and it makes sense that he is the biggest movie star of all time because like I said, wrestling is pure entertainment-based sport, and Rock was able to gain the attention of millions of people by being very entertaining and being very trash talky and being very charismatic, and that's how he got so many people to look up to him and to sort of put their eyes on him. That he's very electrifying, and that's why he's thrived in Hollywood so far. Now, second individual I'll bring up is an individual you probably know too well, Andrew Tate. He's exploded in popularity through TikTok shorts, and people are drawn to his charisma and provocative speech. Now he's been banned. I mean, he's still around, but he's been banned for some reason. His ideas about women and feminism and men and masculinity in general has gained him an audience of young, lost men who feel Tate was finally speaking to them in a way that no popular figurehead could. And he kind of blew up from this, like and that's I'll go into that later about how Andrew Tate sort of tapped into the young lost men who feel like they have no purpose in life anymore. And Andrew Tate was able to grab those people and gain those people's attention. He's very provocative. He has some very messed up opinions about women and masculinity and relationships and all that. But if you can sort of resonate with some people, they will ignore the awful shit you're saying because you speak to them in a way that no one could. All right, now Alex Jones is a known conspiracy theorist who was, after crushing the Sandy Hook shooting, was banned off of YouTube entirely. Although his so-called question would lead to many people harassing the victims of the family for years, Alex is a conspiracy theorist who values shock value entertainment over everything. He values, in order to get his message across, he has to be very outlandish, he has to be provocative, he has to be entertaining, and that's how he's able to be so successful as he is, despite being banned off of every major platform. and he's become quite the infamous meme lord himself with his infamous "Turn the Frogs Gay" sort of song, and that's why he's become so popular as he is. And Alex lives off controversy and engagement, and knows as long as people are talking about him, he's winning. Idubbbz was an internet Idubbbz, you know him, content cop. I mean, he's falling off right now, but you know him. Idubbbz was an infamous internet figurehead who was known for his well-crafted expose videos known as Content Cop. In these videos, he would critique and make fun of individuals who he saw as horrible people who deserved to be called out for their behavior. He was edgy, he was productive, and he thrived on that. And what really drew people to him was his confidence and his devil-may-care attitude. This no gives a fuck attitude persona that people thought was cool. The audience was drawn to that sort of I don't give a shit, you can't talk shit about me, I got nothing, you got nothing on me. This guy who like didn't give a shit about how people saw him, and kids thought that was cool. They thought he was cool, and he gained a lot of respect for that. And the way his content was like edgy and all that. But he would push the boundaries of what could be made and what not to be made. And that was what really entertained people about him. I mean, that was until his girlfriend made OnlyFans, but that's like a tale for another time. Now, you know him, you love him, the Candyman, Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde blew up in success after being banned from almost everything for accusations of racism and donating to an alt-right, far-right website. He was brought back into the spotlight by Idubbbz's documentary and has gained massive success from Idubbbz's documentary. Sam Hyde is very similar to Ian as he relies on dark, shock value humor to gain the love of an audience and passionate fans. This is interesting because many of Idubbbz's former friends who have been let down by Ian had flocked over to Sam Hyde because Sam Hyde had given them what they were lacking from Ian. But Ian's new content. Sam is very expressive how he words things, and he's also someone who can put into a performance when he needs to entertain people. Sam relies on shock value, edgy humor, and being entertaining as possible, and that's why people flock to him. Sam Hyde is basically a theater kid. He's basically a theater kid at heart who knows how to play a character, who knows how to entertain, and that's why he's got his own show, and that's why he's getting a new season of $1 Million Extreme World Peace, and that's how he's gained such a massive following. You see, like Sam Hyde is basically very similar to a pro wrestler. Like he's able to gain, like in another lifetime, I think he would have been a pro wrestler, and the way he sort of gains the attention from the audience, despite them not knowing like what his true beliefs are. Like he does comedy, he doesn't want to push a political agenda. He just wants to do comedy, wants to make people laugh and all that stuff. Even though Sam Hyde might not be your cup of tea, and I get that, that's fine. But I think that's what Sam Hyde relies on. He relies on people who hate him to call him. I can't say the N word. You know, the far right people who thinks he's far right, and he's able to gain an audience from that. Now, probably one of the most infamous on this list is Idubbbz. Not sorry, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is someone who no one expected to win and ended up bulldozing through his Republican candidates. Here's the thing, everyone at first thought Trump was a clown. They saw Trump run for president as a joke and just to be laughed at. Donald Trump did something really interesting. The way he would sort of his thing, Donald Trump is a celebrity. People forget that. So he knows how to like gain the attention of the audience themselves, and that's how he's able to do that. Donald Trump then proceeds to insult Rand Paul's appearance, and that quickly became his tactic to sort of insult his opponents, to get under their skin, to get in their heads. And he did that with Ted Cruz when he called his wife ugly. Like Trump was based in that sort of way, and he gained a lot of attention from that. A lot of people thought he was savage. A lot of people thought he was cool. They'd never seen anything like that from a politician before, and that's why a lot of people flocked over to him and they supported him because they liked what he was saying. Because no one ever seen Trump like that before. He was unique. He was fresh and all that. Trump is a businessman first, and Trump is a businessman. He knew what to do and what to say to get people to pay attention to him and love him. And he knew how to step into the hearts of millions of Americans by giving them a presidential candidate who was different and unique from other presidential candidates who didn't really represent them purely. Donald Trump could electrify the crowd in a way that no other president candidate could do. In doing so, he gained the love of millions and millions of Americans who felt their country was not as it once was, making the infamous "Make America Great Again" slogan so infamous as it is now. Donald Trump tapped into that feeling of disappointment that many Americans have been feeling towards their country and used that to become president. Anyway, like I said, these people have been successful because they knew the audience was the most important factor of spreading their message. That they had to get millions of people to get their eyes on them, get their attention on them themselves. They tapped into something that was very primal in our image, and they were able to use that to sort of spread their influence around, and that's what made them so popular. They knew that in order to be successful, you have to be entertaining above all else and tap into something that many people feel, whether it be fear, attention, alienation, a feeling of being lost in a world that won't give them what they want. So they turn to these individuals who are voicing what they are feeling, and that's how they become so popular. It's all about tapping into that feeling that young people have and gain that perspective and audience and using that to push your way to superstar success.